I guess we take the national anthem of the Yoruba nation, of the Dua Republic. Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, fún ilẹ̀ ìbí wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fáyé rí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bá ti bẹ̀rù làgbọ́ mọ́. Ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní ẹ jẹ́ ká máa lépa. Tẹ̀síwájú pọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us. And then I'm making an official statement of the Young Yoruba for Freedom in respect of the allegation that the president of Yoruba land, in person of the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, there's been these raging allegations in social media that he has recently married an Igbo lady called Chioma, upon which we would like to give our official response to that allegations. And as you will all agree, we're not happy about the news. We've been trying to find out whether that is the truth. But we're making an official response because we have read from many mainstream media, including Punch, that we respect so much, that the allegation has not been condemned by the office of the president of Yoruba land. From our own finding as a movement, as of now, we cannot say for a fact whether that is the truth, but we expected the office of the Alaafin of Oyo and the president of Yoruba land, by the virtue of the Western Nigeria Constitution, which was promulgated into law in 1952, that gives the position of the House of Oba to the Alaafin of Oyo. That makes the occupier of that office the president of Yoruba land, and then the Oni being the head of state of Yoruba land, the most senior political position in Yoruba land, and the leader of Common, which often is the premier or prime minister of the region, in the third position politically. Now, if you have your second most important political position in Yoruba land getting married to the number one enemy of the Yoruba nation, this is a great concern for the Yoruba as a people. And it is upon this that I want to address these allegations, which we believe the office of Alaafin of Oyo and the president of Yoruba should respond. You see, great civilizations are not modeled. Great civilizations are taking their own life. This is the conclusion of an historian, Arnold Toynbee, in his 12-volume Magnus Opus, A Study of History. He concluded that great civilizations are not modeled. Instead, they take their whole life. If that should be the case, this is likely going to be the experience of the Yoruba nation. In that book, written by Arnold Toynbee, it was an exploration of the rise and fall of 28 civilizations, 28 different civilizations. This man was right in some respects. He said that civilizations are often responsible for their own decline. However, their self-destruction is usually assisted. He gave example about the Roman Empire. For example, the Roman Empire was the victim of many ills, including over-expansion, climatic change, environmental degradation, and the most important failure of the Roman Empire, poor leadership. Poor leadership has been the bane of the Yoruba nation. First, when the English colonial talk came into our body politics in 1851 and killed millions of our people to first take over Lagos and then the entire Yoruba land, and held our land for 100 years, 1851 until 1951, when we had self-rule. It was our poor leadership. But what brought Roman Empire to its kneel was a result that minor civilization, unrefined civilization like the Visigoths in 410 and Vandals in 455 easily overrun the Roman Empire. It has been the case with the Yoruba nation. We were overrun by the English for 100 years. A generation came and chased away the English from Yoruba land, first in 1951 and then officially in 1960, only for us to fall for the Vandals that I will call the Igbos, who came in 1966 and suspended regional government, killed our prime minister, and the Fulani who took over from them since 1966. These are minor, unrefined civilizations who have taken over the entire Yoruba lands as I speak. The collapse of great civilization is often quick, and greatness provides no immunity. That was why the greatness of Yoruba people was conquered by the English in 1851. It was suppressed again by the Igbo in 1966 after they suspended the regional government, and then the Hausa Fulani since 1966. Our deep past is marked by recurring failure. The current occupier of the position of the presidency of Yoruba land is Alaafin of Oyo by virtue of the Yoruba Western Constitution promulgated into law in 1952. That was the constitution that gave him the power as the president. He became the president and Alaafin of Oyo of Yoruba land in 1971. Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III has occupied that position for 50 years. So to a large extent, he understands what is an heritage, our custom, tradition, the monument we hold there. Within 50 years of his reign, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III has appointed 3 Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. And these Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò are the modern Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. He first appointed Ladoke Akintola as the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land. Ladoke Akintola was the second elected Prime Minister of Yoruba land. But this man was assassinated on the 15th of January 1966 by the Igbo. So you expect the president of Yoruba land and the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, to understand the importance of history. The second modern Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò that was appointed after the Igbo assassinated Akintola was MKO Abiola. MKO Abiola actually became the 14th Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. but he is the second modern Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba. MKO Abiola won the presidential election in 1993. That election was annulled by the Igbo, who never voted for Abiola. Abiola contested the annulment of that election. This led to his assassination by the Hausa and Fulani in 1998. Alaafin of Oyo is to a large extent a reciprocity of knowledge. He knows a lot of history. It is disappointing about the news that he has gone out to marry from the same ethnic nationality in Nigeria that have been responsible for the current attack of the Yoruba nation since 1945 that the Igbo started coming into Yoruba. They are the people antagonizing us every now and then. They have never supported our political interests. They were the same people who ensured Awolowo was locked up in prison for 10 years. It was the Igbo nation who killed Awolowo's son. It was the Igbo nation who assassinated the first modern Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba and the 13th Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba, Ladoke Akintola. It was the same Igbo nation who annulled the first election of a Yoruba citizen to have won the presidential election in Nigeria, MKO Abiola, and the 14th as well as the second modern Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba. For Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III to have now ignored all this reality, to have ignored the history of our existence, to now go and marry an Igbo woman, he has given the impetus to the Yoruba citizens who are Republican in nature, and he has encouraged them to call for the total eradication of the overship across Yoruba land. You and I were upset when the head of state of Yoruba land, the Oni of Ife, categorically destroyed the tradition and culture of the Yoruba people in respect of Ajé. He credited the ingenuity of Ajé to Igbo, who are not even our neighbors, who are not related to us in any ramification. Till this day, he has not openly and publicly apologized for misleading the Yoruba nation, for the false information about Ajé. Yet, he remains the head of state of Yoruba land. These are not permanent positions. Yet, they are our natural leaders. But across the world, and even within the Yoruba history, several of our harbors have been removed. We cannot move on as a people when our heritage, the tradition that we hold there, our culture, have been destroyed by the people who are appointed to hold this culture there. Nobody at this time will expect the president of Yoruba land and the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, to be married to an Igbo woman. Look at the amount of propaganda against Tinubu, who has done creditably well for the Yoruba nation. Look at the propaganda that is coming from the Igbo. Igbo made several attempts to get him assassinated. When Fashola was governor, he said that the Igbo made 9 separate attempts on his life. Yet, this is from the people that the president of Yoruba land have gone to marry an alleged woman. And we will ask the office of the president of Yoruba land and that of Alaafin of Oyo to make an official statement, whether to accept this allegation that is already in the public or to reject it. It will be a big disappointment, a big failure on the part of Alaafin of Oyo to have been married to an Igbo woman at this point in time when our civilization has been completely eroded. We will not accept this infraction. We will not accept Yoruba others who can no longer hold dear to our traditions, to our culture, to our religious belief. From the book, The Ethnicity in Nigeria, which we have shown to you, Yoruba has the highest rate of intermarriage in the world. That is why we cannot grow as a people. That is why we have had betrayers upon betrayers who do not wish for a full-blooded Yoruba to be so appointed as the president of Nigeria. This is not a time for Alaafin of Oyo to have been married, allegedly, to an Igbo woman at a time that the only problem of the Yoruba nation is the Igbo people. You have seen how their governor, Okorosha, and all of their governors are so corrupt, very ruthless. They take allocation from Abuja, but they have never done anything for the greatness of Igbo land. But this horrible, criminally minded Igbo, every now and then, the only problem they see is Tinubu, somebody who left office in 2007. Tinubu has only contested for 2 elective posts in Yoruba land. First, as a senator, which he won in 1992. Then as a governorship candidate, which he won in 1999, and again he won in 2003. He has never been in power since 2007, but every now and then, the Igbo are desperate to destroy this man. And this is from the same ethnicity that the head of, the president of Yoruba land has now gone into to marry a woman. It's a big disappointment. The damage that the Oni of Ife has done to the Yoruba youth in respect of Ajay, we are still dealing with that. And for young Yoruba to see our president getting married to an Igbo woman, what does that portend for the Yoruba nation? And I have watched the interview of Gumi saying that Nigeria cannot break because people are having sex with one another. Sorry, in America, black and white are having sex. Has that stopped the white police from killing African Americans? In Russia, when it was the Soviet Union, USSR, they were marrying each and every nations within that Soviet Union were married with each other. But when the war came, they broke up into 13 different nations. Look at the Scottish and the English. Look at them. Even the King of England married a Scottish princess, yet they went to war and fought each other for 300 years, and the Scottish are still saying that they want to get out of the United Kingdom. People think that because you are having sex, that's why white people look down on black people. How can you define the civilization of a people based solely on sex? So because you are married to Igbo now, then Yoruba and Igbo are one and the same? Is that what happened between Senegal and Gambia? They were one country, married, intermarried, yet the country broke up. Is that what happened between the two Sudanese? The whole Sudan was one. They married each other and yet the country divided. Look at the whole India. Half of the population of the Pakistanis were married to the Indians, yet they went to war and broke up the country into 3. India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Now people define relationship based on sex. That is not it. That's why they condemn you black people as monkey. That's why ordinary vaccine for coronavirus, no African nation can produce. Yet you will say that the white people are not superior to you because the only thing you do is sex. Look at our music. Everything is about sex. How can we be defining our civilization based on sex? There are Yoruba that are married to English. Has that given the English the right to say that the Yoruba and English are one and the same? There are several Yoruba that are married to people from Ghana, the Ashanti people in Ghana. There are several Yoruba that are married to Zulu women and Zulu men in South Africa. Has that given the South African people to allow Yoruba unrestricted access into their own country? It is disappointing if it turns out to be the truth that Alaafin of Oyo is married to an Igbo woman. We will be disappointed. And this will give the encouragement to the Yoruba who are Republican in nature to call for the hand of ownership across Yoruba land. We can no longer be funding them and they continue to undermine our greatness. The French people used to have kings. They were all exterminated. Russia used to have kings. The family was exterminated. It is not only Yoruba land that we have kings. Virtually all nations except Igbo nation, before democracy, had monarchical system of government. We will be calling on the office of the Alaafin of Oyo, who doubles as the president of Yoruba land, to make an official statement in respect of this marriage to an alleged Igbo woman. If it is true, we will be very, very disappointed in the decision of the Alaafin of Oyo. Alaafin of Oyo does not have the right to do a number of things. We, the people, and in this case, the Oyomesi, appointed him the Alaafin of Oyo. We have removed several Alaafin because of their actions against the collective interest of the Yoruba nation. I have read history of Ilorin in which 3 emir of Ilorin, who were just ordinary people, were killed by the people who appointed them until they changed the emir to Yoruba. We know all of this history. It is uncalled for at this present moment for the Alaafin of Oyo to have indulged in this shameful act, to be married to an Igbo woman. Look at the Igbo nation. They have 5 states. Although there are Igbo in Delta State, there are Igbo in River State, which are not part of the 5 Igbo states of Imo, Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, and Enugu. I think Enugu, Imo, Anambra, Ebonyi, and the other one, I can't remember it now. All of their governors are full-blooded Igbo people. All of their wives are full-blooded Igbo. They don't marry Yoruba women and put them in such a position as first lady. But it is only in Yoruba that you see half Yoruba all over the place. So how do you want your civilization not to be destroyed? I live in England. Do I have the same right and privileges as English? No, I face discrimination in this country. Police stop and search us because of our ethnicity and our race. It is not that these people are racist. The research says that black people commit so much crime in England, and it is the truth. The total population of black people is only 4% of the population of the United Kingdom. 4, but they commit so much crimes. What is the percentage of the Igbo in Yoruba land? They are the people that are committing crimes, and they've never supported our political interests. The encouragement that Alaafin of Oyo has not given to generation of Yoruba to think that they can just go out of their way and get married to Igbo. It is uncalled for. It is damaging. It is destroying our civilization. I believe the Yoruba who are Republican should now speak up against the overship in Yoruba land if it turns out that Alaafin of Oyo has truly married an Igbo woman. There is nothing that has written in Yoruba tradition, culture, that says that we must continue with a system that is destroying our civilization. Under the Yoruba constitution written in 1952, only 84 or thereabout 84 to I think 87 Obas were recognized across Yoruba land. But today we have more than 5,000 Obas. The proliferation of Oba has completely eroded our civilization, our tradition, and even our freedom and liberty. We're not happy with the news about Alaafin of Oyo getting married to an Igbo woman. We reject it totally. This is the destruction of our civilization. Look at Hausa Fulani. All of their governors in Hausa Fulani land are Fulani people. Yet Fulani are immigrants in Hausa land. They will never allow a half Fulani or half Yoruba to be their governors. Look at all of their senators. They are completely full-blooded Fulani people. But it is only in Yoruba land that you accept nonsense. And our others and even our people are making mistakes. Foreigners should not vote in Yoruba land. Some people will say that, oh, you live in England, but you can vote and be voted for. Yes, it is because of slavery and colonialism. The English came to Yoruba land and enslaved us for 100 years. They did not only enslave us, they slaughtered millions of our people, stole our wealth and resources to build England. That is what gives every Yoruba citizen the right to live, vote, and be voted for in England. There is no Yoruba soul who can go to Russia, go to Japan, or go to China to say they want to vote and be voted for, to want to go and claim rights in these three countries. Because these countries never colonized Yoruba land. It is the same scenario with the Igbo. We Yoruba never colonized the Igbo. We never colonized the Hausa or Fulani. They have no right whatsoever to even live, vote, or be voted for in Yoruba land. They have no such rights. Don't make mistake that because you see people in England, black people in England, speaking the way they wish, it is because English colonized more than half of the world population. Their children are not happy that people are coming into their space to claim right. You can't see black people claiming right in Russia. You can't see black people claiming right in Japan or claiming right in China because this country never came to your continent to colonize anyone. The idea that we must allow everybody to just troop into Yoruba is stupidity. The English allow people to come into their country because they stole the wealth of these people many, many years ago before the end of slavery. We didn't do such. We're so disappointed in a lot of our hobbies. Their actions are just completely irresponsible. Look at that Oluyiwo of Iwo, who was dressing as Fulani. He ought to have been removed under a working democratic system. We are striving as conservative to bring into reckoning the role of our others in the democratic setting of Yoruba land, because that role is guaranteed under the 1952 Constitution of Western Nigeria that makes Oni of Ife the #1 political leader in Yoruba land as the head of states, which he was called Governor General then. The second most important political office in Yoruba land is that of Alaafin of Oyo, who is the chairman of the House of Oba. That position is reserved for the presidency of Yoruba land. And the third most powerful position in Yoruba land is that of the Prime Minister of Yoruba land, who is the leader of the House of Commons in Yoruba land. We are trying to bring this back, and our Obas are frustrating our work. We're trying to say to people that this is the system that works for us. That was the same time Oni of Ife spoke against the Yoruba in respect of Ajay. And the news that is now coming out from the Alaafin Palace that he has been married to an Igbo woman. What nonsense are we indulging in? And look, the Yoruba Oba are undermining us. They are undermining the Yoruba populace. They are undermining the conservative. There are Republicans in Yoruba land who do not subscribe to the Obaship. I believe in the Obaship system, not that because I'm a prince, because my grandfather was a king for over 45 years. That is not it. In my heart of heart, I don't like the Obaship system in Yoruba land because there are too many. There are too many, over 5,000 Obas. We shouldn't allow this to go down this route. And even our first class Oba, like Oni, like Alaafin, are disgracing us most of the time. So this will encourage the Yoruba who are Republican to call for the cancellation of the Obaship. I don't believe in cancel culture, like some stupid liberals are doing. They want to bring down every status of war heroes, of president, prime minister who have done greatly for their country. I don't believe in cancel culture. I'm conservative. I want to conserve the Yoruba Obaship. Not that I am a prince. No. But that is our tradition. That is our heritage. But people that has been put in this position, if they now say that they want to continue to destroy it, why not completely cancel it? Now, the Alaafin of Oyo cannot say that it is its personal prerogative to marry any woman. No, you are holding up to our heritage. You have to do what the public want, what the Yoruba people want. You can no longer decide for yourself. Getting married to an Igbo, if this turned out to be the truth, I want to encourage Yoruba who are Republican in nature to start advocating for the complete total eradication of some of our traditions and culture that are no longer fit for purpose in this century. The first thing that we need to do is that all these people that are addressing themselves as Oba, who are ordinarily Baale, should cease to be. They should stop calling themselves Obas. There are too many, over 5,000 Obas. How can we be that useless? That's why all of them are fighting each other. They don't even know which one is the head. Some people will say Allah is the head. Others will say it is Oni of Ife. We have a well-defined system. Oni of Ife is the most important Yoruba Obas. Is the head of state of Yoruba. Allah is the president. And these are their hierarchy. But these two people are now forcing us into a position that we can no longer defend. So we will be asking the office of the president of Yoruba Land and Alaafin of Oyo to make a public statement as regards the marriage of Alaafin to an Igbo lady. If that should be the case, it will be disappointing. We are discouraged, and we will have to think long and hard about how we will make proper response to this insult. You have appointed 3 modern Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, Akintola and Abiola, and both of these two have been summarily killed by Igbo and Fulani. And our first Prime Minister, Awolowo, was put in prison by the Igbo. His son was killed by the Igbo. And it is these same people that you go to and marry their daughter. We don't want that any longer. And we've been saying this. We have Yoruba. I have a cousin who is half English, half Yoruba. Life is very miserable for her in England. So all of you that are half Igbo, life will be miserable for you in Yoruba land. That is it. You will never have the same right and privileges as Yoruba people. I don't have the same right and privileges as English. The Yoruba who are here in England, married to English, their children have no same right and privileges as full-blooded English. That is it. It has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with discrimination. It has everything to do with self-preservation. Look at the English. They went as far back as Canada to appoint their central bank governor, who happened to be English Canadians. We're serious about bringing about change. We have a lot of youths across Yoruba land who are poor, miserable, and wretched, yet they are well educated. Our Obas are not thinking about how Yoruba people can have free and qualitative health care. Ordinary malaria is killing everybody. Look at Yoruba land. All of us are now queuing to get coronavirus vaccine from abroad. And our governors have been taking this vaccine, which they now see that is causing blood clots, killing people as a result of that. I'm not saying that people shouldn't take it. That's not what I'm advocating. Our governor, political leader, shouldn't have used themselves as guinea pig for this vaccine. But I will never object it. It is from other people's ingenuity, which I respect so much. I believe in science. But I believe that people should be given this vaccine before priority given to some important people. No, ordinary people should be given the vaccine. Not that because you are governor or minister, you should be the one that will take it first. That is not showing leadership. But I understand that they have taken it because they want to show to our people that it is not killing. Fine, reasonable. But our harbors, they are not thinking about how the Yoruba can get qualitative health care. They are not thinking about how we can get qualitative education that is free and health care that is free. They are not thinking about how we can have affordable housing for all in Yoruba land. Yet they are Oba, ruling over us the subject. Our Oba are not concerned about how to secure job security for people so that those who do not have job can get some benefit from government. And those who have jobs can secure their job. Our Obas are not concerned about security of lives and properties in Yoruba land. So why are they Obas? Why are they our kings if they are not concerned about these 5 basic essential human needs? And every time we're trying to bring about defending Yoruba civilization, They are bringing about nonsense like getting married to an Igbo woman. There's so many beautiful Yoruba men, women rather, who can be getting married to. But nobody is considering those things. You go and marry foreigner. Akeredolu is married to an Igbo woman. He's the governor of our state. Seyi Makinde is married to an Ijaw woman. He's the governor in one of our states. How many Igbo governors are married to Yoruba women? How many Hausa Fulani governors are married to Yoruba women? Why are you changing our women? Why are you destroying them? All Yoruba women have turned prostitute. Our wives are into prostitution because there's no job in Yoruba. Our daughters are into prostitution because there's no job in Yoruba. Every one of them are getting involved in prostitution. Our auntie are into prostitution because there are no jobs in Yoruba land. We have waterways, we have seaport, we have airport, we have crude oil, we have all manners of resources in Yoruba land. Yoruba people cannot control it. It is Hausa Fulani who are controlling it. The only thing our Oba can think about is going to marry an Igbo woman, damaging the Yoruba nation the more. I live in England. I don't have the same rights and privileges as English. I spent almost 8 years of my life without work permits. Why is that so? Because I'm not English. Do I need work permit to work in Yoruba land? No, because I'm a Yoruba citizen. Do you think we want to go through this? There are Yoruba who lives in England for 15 years with no work permits. There are Yoruba in America who are there for 20 years with no work permits. You are not thinking about that. You're saying people should come into Yoruba land and have equal rights as us. I don't have equal rights with English. Do you know how many times stupid English police have arrested me? Because I'm not English? Because of my ethnicity and my race? And yet you want Yoruba land to be taken away from us. So we will be 13th class citizen abroad and we will be 3rd class citizen in Yoruba land. Our own homeland, we cannot even be 1st class citizen. And you continue to damage people. The office of Alaafin of Oyo is a position that is held there for the Yoruba people. The occupier of that position does not control his own life. He has to do everything humanly possible to always protect the interest and welfare of the Yoruba nation. Getting married to an Igbo woman in this present situation is not the best. It is damaging our civilization. It is destroying Yoruba land. It is poisoning the mind of our children. Yoruba citizen with PhD. I have seen a Yoruba citizen with PhD here in London who is willing to go onto the street to protest against conservative government because he says conservative is a racist government, because conservative does not allow immigrants to troop into England. But this stupid Yoruba with PhD, it doesn't wish to fight Hausa Fulani and the Igbo who are taking the jobs in Yoruba land, who control our waterways, who control our crude oil, who control our prison, who control our custom, who controls our everything. That is damaging to Yoruba nation. A man with PhD is willing to fight against conservative government in England, but he does not wish to fight against Igbo and Fulani who have controlled Yoruba land, who have taken total control of Yoruba land. What do you think that man is? An illiterate, a stupid soul that he is. This is what our Obas have done to damage the Yoruba nation, to damage the heart of our soul and our being. We have been suffering with malaria, bacteria for so long. We cannot even develop a vaccine that will stop malaria. But these people have just came up with a vaccine for coronavirus. We depended on them because we have allowed our civilization to be eroded in our lifetime. So we are asking the office of Alaafin of Oyo to make a public statement as regards this allegation of getting married to an Igbo woman. If it turns out to be the truth, Alaafin should do the right thing and abrogate his position. That position is the heritage of the Yoruba nation. It is that of our culture. But is he going to abrogate his throne? They don't do it. If you cannot protect our heritage, if you cannot defend our civilization, there's no point holding that office. We're disappointed, not at this moment. Look at the quality of leadership Tinubu has brought to the Yoruba nation. This man single-handedly funded NADECO. NADECO that was fighting for the interests of the Yoruba nation. NADECO people were being killed by Hausa, Fulani, and Igbo. Tinubu single-handedly funded that movement. He was compensated for his role by giving the ticket of the governorship of Lagos. He did so well for the Yoruba nation. The fact that he's alive today is the greatest benefit for the Yoruba nation. But the Igbo, they have been helped for this man to destroy him. Yet, we have a president in Alafin of Oyo going to the same Igbo nation to take a wife. This is very, very disappointing. It is a shame, and the young Yoruba for freedom were disappointed. And if this turned out to be the truth, we expect Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III to abdicate his throne for his son to take over. There's nowhere, this is a common thing. The Queen, she suggested that she's going to leave very soon. She's 94, and she's planning to abdicate the throne for his son. So we expect Alaafin for you to do that, so that we can have a younger king to lead us, because we're disappointed. Inasmuch as we hold the office of the president of Yoruba land in high esteem, if it turned out to be true that the Alaafin for you has married an Igbo woman, we expect him to abdicate his throne. These are common things that in the past we encourage in Yoruba land. People should not hold a position in which they cannot defend the civilization of their nation. We are your subjects. You should be able to weigh the pulse and feelings of your subject. We want to take the presidency of Nigeria in 2023 so that we can do a lot of things. For instance, in 1955, there was several referenda in what is called Ilorin and Kaba division that today are called Kwara State and Kogi State. The referenda result was handed over to Zik and Balewa in 1960. In the referenda, the people of Ilorin division and Kaba division, the Yoruba people there, stated clearly in an electoral process that they want to be part of the Yoruba Western region, the then Yoruba Western region. Because Balewa is a Fulani and Zik and Igbo, they refused these people. During the Abacha National Conference, and again, Obasanjo National Conference, and Jonathan National Conference, the Yoruba people in today Kwara demanded for Oyo State that the 12 Yoruba-speaking local government in Kwara, out of the 16, the 12 Yoruba-speaking local government be made into Oyo State and added as part of Southwest that we are being called today. This was rejected during Abacha Conference. It was rejected during Jonathan Obasanjo National Conference and Jonathan National Conference. The Yoruba in Kogi State, they are in 6 local government. They made a request during the Abacha National Conference, Obasanjo National Conference, and Jonathan National Conference that they want an open state to be created out of that 6 local government, or in the alternative to be added for the Yoruba 6 local government in Kogi to be added as part of Ekiti State. This was rejected during Abacha Conference. It was again rejected during Obasanjo Conference and Jonathan Conference. Why were all of this rejected? 1955 referendum in these 2 divisions. This has not been implemented. Why? Because we don't have a full-blooded Yoruba citizen as the president of Nigeria. This is what we want. These are part of what we desire. That's why we are advocating for Tinubu, a full-blooded Yoruba citizen, to be president. Who are the people antagonizing this man? Igbo. They want this man dead. And they have Yoruba. And about the same time, it has been alleged that our home president has gotten married to an Igbo woman. This is disgraceful. Our Haba have no respect for us. You are not God. We made you. We can destroy you. We are the people. Look at what happened in Akure when the Deji of Akure was relieved of that position because he assaulted his wife. Look, this is a recent occurrence under Mimiko. Look at what happened in 1969 when the Yoruba youth went to Shomu of Ogbomoso Palace and cut off his head. Don't underestimate our ability to change the course of history. We live abroad. We suffer so much abroad. We are not respected. We face discrimination. Police harass us. We're well educated. We do horrible jobs. We don't want to live abroad any longer. We want to come home and use our woman capital to make Yoruba land great. Rather than for you to support our initiatives, you are ridiculing us the more by getting married to an Igbo woman. At about the time that the hatred of the Igbo people for the Yoruba nation is glaring for us to see, we ask the Alaafin of Oyo to abrogate that throne if he can no longer function to protect the civilization of the Yoruba nation that we hold there. We're not just calling for Tinubu to be president. We want the Okun Yoruba in Kogi State to be home. They are Yoruba. They speak Yoruba. They are not supposed to be grouped as North Central. The Yoruba in Kwara, 12 local government, they are not supposed to be part of the North Central. These are Yoruba people. We allow the English, the French, and the German to divide Yoruba into 3 different distinct countries. Togo, Benin Republic, and Nigeria. And we have allowed the Igbo and Hausa Fulani to further divided the Yoruba in Nigeria into 3 regions. We want the Akoko Edo in Edo State to be back home. They are Yoruba people. They are not supposed to be in Edo State. We want the Shekiri people in Delta State to be back home. They are Yoruba people. They are not expected to be outside the Yoruba zone. Our Hobas are not thinking about this, but they believe we won't remove them and that we cannot remove them. The growing awareness of the Yoruba nationalism is great beyond your wildest imagination. It is a pain in our heart that at this point in time, we will be talking about Alaafin of Oyo getting married to an Igbo woman. It's ridiculous. It is a collective insult on the entire Yoruba nation. Igbo who thinks evil about the Yoruba people. What has Tinubu done for them? Tinubu is not their governor. Tinubu has never been their senator. Yet they hated this man. So what impression are we giving to young Yoruba that it doesn't matter? And it is only black people that define relationship based on sex. We have had 2 world wars. 2. World War I, World War II. It is not black people fighting each other, it's Western European people killing each other. English, French, Germans, and the rest of them killing each other. They went to war twice for them to respect one another. Yet these are people that have intermarried. Yet they hold their respective nation in high esteem. And people say because you are having sex with an Igbo woman, then an Igbo man must have the same right and privilege as my own full-blooded Yoruba children in Yoruba land. Do my children have the same right and privileges as English? When my children were born, they were not given any right in this country until my son turned almost 8 years old. If you tell him that story, how do you think he's going to feel? He is not relevant in this country. If he commits any crime in this country, he will be told that when he was born, his parents had no paper. And if he messes up, they will send him down home. That is how they do. Look at that lady, that young Arab lady who was born in this country. And she was taken to Syria at the age of 13. She became an ISIS wife. Now she's not saying that she's coming back to England. They said, no, you are not from England originally. You might have been born here. Your parents are from this Arab country. Go to your parent country. That's what they told her. The case went up to the Supreme Court. You can Google it, guys. This is a child that was born here. He was brainwashed by ISIS to travel from England to Syria to be married to one of the ISIS fighters. Now, after the war, she said she wants to come home. The Supreme Court of this country said, no, you cannot come. You are not one of us. That is the implication. That is a clear statement. Because I have my children in England doesn't mean they are English. Because you are married to Igbo or married to Fulani and you are Yoruba, it doesn't give your children the same right and privileges as my full-blooded Yoruba children. No. We cannot destroy Yoruba land because of your amorous relationship. We want Tinubu to right the wrong that has been done to the Yoruba nation. 2006, my elder brother left home. After the census of 2016, he waited home throughout the day. In the evening, he went out to meet with his friend. He was shot and killed over traffic stop by 3 policemen in Ibadan, the capital of Yoruba land. He was killed by 2 Fulani and 1 Igbo because they are foreigners in Yoruba land. That's what we want Tinubu to help us to change. We want Tinubu to decentralize the police and the military so that only Yoruba citizens will be policemen and women in Yoruba land. All the military bases in Yoruba land will be occupied by Yoruba military personnel. This is why we are supporting Tinubu. We don't want one Nigerian police anymore. It is not the standard in America. It is not the standard even in the United Kingdom that created Nigeria. We're not just blindly supporting Tinubu. We want fundamental change that will make our people to come home from abroad, use their brain to develop our space. It is a ridiculous disgrace. Look at the state of our roads across Yoruba land. Every time, what we commonly call gutter, which is drainage, go and check it out. It is always open. We are not so civilized, so developed to such a level that you know that you don't open drainages. You cover it so that your road can be very neat. We build road with open drainages in 2021. This is part of what we want to help us to stop. Because if we go back to regional government, if your political leaders are building drainages with open drainages, are building roads with open drainages, you vote them out. In 2019, we're constructing road. If you want to build 100 kilometers of road, we will have to open drainage for 100 kilometers. How expensive that can be? That is not how they build drainages any longer. No, nobody does that any longer. But that is the madness we are still doing. These are part of what we want to help us to correct. We cannot change this without a return to regional government. All of us are not concerned about this. You're having sex with all manners of horrible people. Why do you think we went to war for 16 years? The Kiriji War. Why? Because we allow slaves to have equal right and privilege as citizens. When the slaves have now grown in leaps and bounds, they caused war. For 16 years, we were killing ourselves. It is the same nonsense we're still doing. When Alaafin of Oyo appointed Ganiyu Adamu as an Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, a no-pay citizen, how do you expect him to defend Yoruba? That's why the guy is always asking people for money. Every time there is crisis, ask people to bring money. If he's a full-blooded Yoruba citizen, he will have done creditably well. You define nationalism with sex. The Irish people, as recently as the 80s, were at war with the English. English and Irish have married each other for centuries. Yet they went to war with each other over what? Self-rule. They fought one in 1922. The Irish and the English fought a war in 1922, which made the Republic of Ireland to leave the United Kingdom. The remnant of the Republic of Ireland, which is called Northern Ireland today, again went to war with the English in the 80s. Why are they not saying because they have intermarried, then they shouldn't fight each other? They don't define relationship based on sex. And that is the ridiculous thing that we do. We're ashamed that our hobbies are not thinking for the collective good of the Yoruba nation. So we want the office of the Alaafin of Oyo to make an official response to these allegations of marriage with an Igbo woman. And if that comes out to be the truth, we'll be very disappointed. We will still come out again, and we encourage the Republican Yoruba to call for total eradication of the Obaship across Yoruba land. If they cannot hold our tradition in high esteem, there's no justification for them to be there. There is one Oba in Ogun State saying that he doesn't want to do traditional rites. Why then do you want to be king? I'm asking. If you don't want to do the traditional rite, allow those who are interested in doing it to be king. So you can't pick and choose. You're disappointed in what you do. On the basis of this, I will have to stop. The Vice President of Wildlife will be live shortly. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you, Yoruba land.